exciting is it, I guess, or how good is it the start to the season to be 2 games clear on top of the table at the moment?
Yeah, obviously it's good to be winning games, and the good thing is we're improving each game too. I think we're getting stronger and stronger with each game, and we're a couple of games clear, which is nice, but it's only 6 games in, so there's a long season ahead, and we're still building to our best footy, I think.
You mentioned some of the things that you've been improving and working on. What are some of those things that you think you're getting better at this season?
I think playing as a group, a bit of chemistry between some players. The start of each year, you've got to build that chemistry again. So you can see it starting to come forth with that. And I think our forward line's working well. The midfielders are pushing in and helping out as well. So it's been a good mix so far.
Hayden, a couple of weeks ago when you came off suspension, Ross said that you earned your right to come straight back in the team. Was there any fear during that week that you might not have come straight back in and you might have to have played WAFL footy?
Yeah, no one's spot safe really. I think that's the beauty of the team at the moment. Everyone's playing well. The young guys at Peel are playing well, so spots are really tight at the moment. But I spoke to Ross and he was comfortable for me to come straight in.
And he said there was a vote from the playing group, or the playing group said, yep, we want Hayden back in. That must be nice for you to have the confidence.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a vote. Everyone got to say if something they wanted to say, and there was a lot of support there. So I was, I'm pretty grateful to the team, but hopefully I'm still playing my role the best I can now.
Tell us about the forward line now. Pav seems to be actually getting better, doesn't he? His form.
I know he's going alright for a 45-year-old, isn't he? He's killing it. He's kicking goals and running around really well. So. It's a credit to him, the way he prepares for games. He's the most elite preparer at the club, him and Luke McFarlane. So it's no surprise how well they're playing, but he's taken some really good clunks and given us a real target up forward. So it's been good for us so far.
And Chris Mayne as well. Seems to be
Mayne, he's back to being that crazy tackling forward again, which is really good. I think he had 10 this week and 12 last week. So he's had more in the last 2 weeks I've had for the year. So he's going really well.
Most of the guys within the Horse here and outside thought you were a bit unlucky with the suspension. Have you had to just be mindful of your attack on the footy and the man in the last couple of weeks since coming back? Has that played on your mind at all, or have you just gone back to playing on instinct?
Well, that's the way I play my football. I think my best football is when I play on instinct, and if I worry too much about anything else that's going on, I could end up being hurt or end up being dropped because I'm not going hard enough at the ball. So I think obviously the AFL wants to protect the head and neck area, which is fair enough. You're only one injury away from something that could be life-changing. So I think it's a good thing that they protect the head, so I've got to try and minimise impact to that area of the opposition's body. So it's a tough one, but it's just got to go about it different ways.
Hey, do you feel as though you're working your way in? You kick a couple of goals on the weekend and a couple of crucial tackles, so you feel as though you're building personally? Yeah, so
I think my fitness was a bit off last week, and excuse me, coming off, I did a calf during pre-season and missed a couple of weeks, and then obviously the 2 weeks off suspension, so it's a little bit interrupted, but I think I'm building, and on the weekend I felt really good running out there, and this week I hopefully I'll be feeling better again.
Yourself and Sunshine have been so important to the team over the last few years. We tend to think the two of you can get a lot better this year. Is that a great upside for both of you and the team as well?
Absolutely. I think Sunshine's in the same boat. He's still building to his best football, and I think me and him work really well together in the forward line. I think little fellas, we need to help each other out every now and then. So he's a great player, and I think the chemistry we have just naturally as small forwards is a really strong thing for us, and we'll be working together as best we can to be playing our best football.
You've had to change your technique a bit with your tackling, I think, because of the jaw problems you had last year. We've noticed with Michael Walters, he obviously got that concussion 2 weeks ago, and we've noticed he's ducking his head a little bit. Is that something that you would help him with, given that you've had to change the way you go about it in some way?
Not really. I suppose a bit of a tackling technique maybe I can help out, but Michael, you got to find your own way to evolve in this game. It's nothing that someone can't just tell you to do something, you do it straight away. You got to train it and then practice it in games as well. So he'll work through that, and just one concussion from on a weekend is you can't change your whole game from one injury. So I think he'll work his best way through that and try to hit in the head really.
You mentioned your fitness wasn't quite there last week. Did Ross give you a bit of a spray at 3/4 time? Was it against the D's?
Not so much as it wasn't nothing to do with fitness or anything like that. It was more so getting to the fall of the big man's feet, so get a bit more crumb into my game and focus a bit more on that for the last quarter. And I think I did that in the last quarter.
And that's something that you obviously worked on into this last game as well.
Yeah, well, that's my bread and butter is tackling, chasing, and crumbing, being at the big men's feet. So that's going to be my key focus going into every game is getting to the crumbs and trying to give some ground support.
Luke McFarlane with his calf, you expect him to come straight back into the lineup this weekend?
I'm not sure. I'm not the coach, so you have to ask Ross that one. I think obviously Luke's stacked his. He's got a lot of credit in the bank too, so he'll probably come straight in. But like I said, I'm not the coach, so you have to ask Ross that one.
Imagine you'd like to see him back in there though.
Absolutely, he's an All-Australian defender. He's one of the best going around, so he'll be a welcome addition if he comes in.
You head back to Melbourne to a team who up until the weekend were just the talk of the whole competition. Is this a danger game for you guys, considering you've won so many in a row, and how are you approaching it?
Every game's a danger game. We even our games against Sydney and West Coast, we were a fair way in front and one bad quarter and you open the door for the opposition to come back. So every game's a danger game. There's no such thing as an easy game of football. And the Bullies have been playing some great footy this year. The Bontempelli and those kind of blokes, the young guys coming through. There's some really good footy players. I actually like watching Bontempelli play. He's a gun. So we've got to show them full respect because they can tear a game apart very quickly.
There was experts on the coverage, and Kingy was one of them, saying that your second half fade-outs are a team tactic, that this is actually how you want to play. You want to get out of the blocks, be great in the first half, and then ease your way through the second half, and that's going to keep you good for the finals. What do you say to those comments, and is it a team tactic?
If you practice letting clubs back in, then that's not going to be a great thing for us if we do eventually play finals. So it's not something that we practice to have a fade out, that's for sure. But we were changing a few things around on the field. Michael Johnson, he had really high minutes in the first 2 or 3 quarters, so he got a bit of a rest in the last quarter. And it's definitely not a tactical thing to fade out in games, but it's something where they kick a few goals in the last quarter. We got to work on. We can't just let teams kick quick, easy goals in the last quarters.
In terms then of managing, say, Michael Johnson's minutes in a game, that's obviously a tactic that you're trying to get your players through the whole season and have them right and ready to go for finals.
Yeah, well, that's something they've always done. Blokes played a whole. I think Michael Johnson, most games he'll play 100% of the game. So to give him a bit of a chop out in the last quarter, save the old boys' legs. That's something they've got to use. So, but it's like I said, it's not a tactic to let other teams into the game.
The pressure's been from you guys have been manic across the board across the first 6 weeks. Is it hard sometimes to maintain the rage in the last quarter with your pressure on the ball carrier when you're 9 goals up and guys are a little bit fatigued? Can just a mental lapse allow a run on for an opposition? Is that part of the reason why perhaps you've had those quarters where it hasn't gone your way?
Yeah, I suppose fatigue comes into a little bit, but at the same time, the opposition is just as fatigued too. So we, that's our trademark in the forward line, is to chase, harass, pressure, and then the goals come after that. So, we do our best to do it for the whole game. Obviously, there's going to be lapses, there's going to be fatigue coming into it as well. But we do our absolute best to have 4 quarters of absolute pressure, and hopefully that'll get better and better as the season goes by.
Bulldogs have been getting a lot of rebound from their back 50. That would be a big job for you guys, especially someone like Bob Murphy's been setting them up back there.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what we're, us as small pressing forwards try and stop the rebound, empty out our 50 quicker than they do, and stop them running away with the ball. So I watched Bob Murphy play against Sydney. He played a really good game a couple of weeks ago, so he's definitely a danger player for us. Got to stop him. He's a great user of the football, so to cut him out is going to be a big thing for us.
How's Tendai Muzungu going? Obviously trying to get back in the side at the moment.
Yeah, he's been playing some great waffle football, so he's one of those blokes who's pushing hard to get back into the side, and a lot of young guys are trying to get into the side for the first time. Alex Pearce did on the weekend, played his role really well, and he's very pleased with him. So, Tendai, as soon as the door opens for him, I'm sure he'll be jumping through.